My name is Iwata. I'm about making games. And I'm about playing games. Last night, I played Super Smash Brothers. That's my game. I kicked some you-know-what. And I took his name. His name was Reggie. As Nintendo president, I'm also all about asking questions. So, Reggie, I have a question for you. Who's your daddy?
So, you might be wondering why I'm paying tribute to Mr. Satoru Iwata now at the end of the year when the man passed away over 5 months ago. Well, I had significant problems connecting to the internet around the summer, so I wasn't really able to do any sort of tribute to him then. Plus, as a Nintendo fan and a fan of his period, especially since learning quite a bit about him before and after his death, I have to make the opportunity to thank him. Not just for what he's done that has influenced my life, but what he's done for the company that I love, the hobby that I love, and millions around the world. Since I'm doing this so late after his death, I'm sure there isn't much that I can say that hasn't been said about him already in many other videos, tributes, articles, or even fan art for him. But I really do feel the need to thank him, and I want to express what he meant to me personally as a gamer. While I had heard of and seen Satoru Iwata at various points in time since he became the president of Nintendo, it wasn't until E3 2013 where I really took note of him, when he introduced a Nintendo Direct presentation that they had in place that year. E3 2013 is one of my absolute favorite E3s from Nintendo, and in addition to how excited I was for a lot of the games that they showed off there, I enjoyed his presence in that Direct. There was a great level of humility and approachability that I felt from him. I mean, I knew he was the president of a company, but he seemed to be much more than just your typical corporate leader, and it turns out that truly was the case. I know this quote of his was thrown around many times when he passed away, but there's a reason why it was. Because it really rang true for him. On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a developer, but in my heart, I am a gamer. As the president of Nintendo, he was leading the way during the runs of the company's two most successful dedicated video game devices, the Nintendo DS and the Wii. Even when their successor platforms, Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U respectively, had much slower starts, and even as the Wii U continued to sell poorly and when Nintendo was losing money, he actually took a pay cut to prevent his employees from being fired. So his employees could continue to make such great games without the stress or of the potential fear of losing their jobs affecting the development of those games. And compared to CEOs and presidents of other companies, he didn't have nearly as big of a salary as them. My respect for Iwata grew exponentially after hearing about that. That type of compassion for his company was unlike anything I have ever seen. Before he became the global president of Nintendo, he was the president of HAL Laboratory and even helped program for them as well. He was one of the big reasons why the Kirby franchise was able to get off the ground and become one of Nintendo's A-list IPs. He was the one who saved EarthBound from development hell, helping rework the game from the ground up and making it what it is today. A game that is deeply, and I mean deeply, beloved by a number of people with the type of legacy that most games just don't have. He was even responsible for saving Super Smash Bros. Melee. He spent 3 weeks fixing all the bugs for the game and helped it to get released on time within a month of the launch of the Nintendo GameCube. Even to this day, Melee, by many people's standards, is considered to be the best game in the Super Smash Bros. Series. He even had a hand in Pokémon, which is my favorite video game series. And he had so much more of an influence on this series than I could have ever imagined. I mean, for one, he was the one who established the Pokemon Company. He managed to put together the coding for Pokemon battles in Pokemon Stadium just 1 week when the team was having trouble porting the battle system of the Game Boy games to the Nintendo 64. But the technical feat that I was most impressed with, and the one that really hits me, and makes me kind of emotional just thinking about it, is what he did for Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver. Game Freak wanted to add a lot of content to these games, but ran out of space on the Game Boy cartridge. Satoru Iwata actually compressed the files for the game so much that they were able to not only have the Johto region, but virtually all the Kanto region as well in the game. Pokemon Crystal, which is an extended version of Pokemon Gold and Silver, is not only my favorite Pokemon game, but it's my absolute favorite video game of all time. I love this game so much you'd swear I treated it like it was my child. I feel like I'm not exaggerating when I say I've put thousands of hours into that game. Almost 15 years later, I haven't found a game that I was immersed with or in love with as much as Pokemon Crystal. And even with all the improvements to later games in a series or video games that you can argue that are better than it, I don't think I will ever love a video game more than this one. One of the essential reasons why this game is so near and dear to me is because of being able to not only explore one, but two regions of the Pokemon world. Pokemon Crystal wouldn't exist without Pokemon Gold and Silver, and Pokemon Gold and Silver simply would not have been the games that they are if it weren't for Satoru Iwata. I actually learned this nearly 2 years ago, and I was in absolute awe of Iwata then. I know it may seem like an overreaction, but like I said, I love Pokemon Crystal like it's my child. It was at that moment that I knew Satoru Iwata was one of a billion. I've always enjoyed seeing him. Whether it was him providing info on the games we were looking forward to directly to us, having an epic fight against Reggie Fils-Aimé at E3 2014, or seeing one final time as a Muppet during E3 2015. I found out he passed away 2 days after the fact. I usually don't look up news on gaming during the weekend since gaming news tends to be slow at that time, and I don't get online very frequently. So the following Monday, when I was looking up news on my phone, I saw a bunch of articles regarding the sad truth. Satoru Iwata was gone. I really didn't want to believe it, and I continued to look until it really hit me. I just uttered the words, "Oh my God." My brother was with me when I was looking this up, and I just remember telling him that he passed away, and we both couldn't believe it. I felt miserable for such a long time after that. At the beginning of 2014, I visited some of my cousins who I haven't seen in almost 20 years. One of them was having major health problems, and she tragically passed away a few weeks after I went home. The pain I felt then felt like the pain I felt after hearing about Iwata's death. I've only really took notice of this man for only 2 years, and yet it really felt like I lost someone of that level in my family. He's had so much of a presence to me during those 2 years, and learning what he's done for video gaming and games that I love so strongly, games that have shaped who I am today, just made his death that much more. It just made it feel that much more painful. He really was a fantastic corporate president. He really was an extraordinary developer. And he really was a compassionate gamer that wanted everyone, absolutely everyone, to enjoy video games as well. And as we get towards the new year, I know Nintendo and its new president, Tatsumi Kimishima, will continue to carry out his dream through what he had set in place with his plans for theme park attractions, branching into mobile gaming, and continuing to make amazing games for the Wii U, the Nintendo 3DS, and the NX whenever it comes to full fruition. So as this year comes to an end, I just want to say to you, Satoru Iwata, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for this industry. Thank you for making the video game I'll always love more than any other video game possible to exist. From one gamer to another, I'll make sure to keep you in my heart. Always.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching.